Hello and welcome. Hey, y'all. Happy Sunday. Happy post new moon. Happy, I'm happy to be here. Happy, still January, still time to think about all that we are trying to rush ourselves through. I am Coach Yolanda, owner of Evolving Spirit Wellness. For those of you who have joined me here before, welcome back. For those of you who are new, hello. There have been some new subscribers on YouTube. I welcome you. Hello, hi. We are a very informal bunch on Sundays at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Whether you are watching live or through the replay, I appreciate all of it. We have been doing some work around inner child healing because Evolving Spirit Wellness has decided to focus on inner child healing this entire year. So this is the year of the inner child 2023, and every Sunday we're going to meditate about a different aspect of the developmental stages that we go through biologically but also spiritually as we do inner child healing. So the month of January, we are still in the pre-birth stage. And so I have to admit that this morning I thought we were a week ahead. Like I was preparing for the meditation for next week for preparation. And then I realized, wait a minute, we're supposed to be talking about discomfort. Now, whether that is an unconscious thing, possibly, that I just don't want to talk about discomfort, discomfort wants to talk about me. Discomfort has been in my ear, whispering in my ear. And if you know what that feels like, say so in the chat. Just make sure that you know I will show those comments that I want to share. If you say something inappropriate, I'm not going to share it. But be mindful. You know, like I said, we're an informal group and we come together and meditate. It is not traditional meditation, which is why I call it Mama Meditations, because we do things differently. If you see me looking around, it's because I got so many good things that I want to talk about and I want to share, and I don't want to forget a thing. But if you would be so kind to say hello, hi, who you are, and where you're from. We have some regulars, and so I want to know if my regulars are here. Hey guys, I appreciate your time because you could be doing anything on a Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and you've decided to be here, and for that I am grateful. And so we are going to talk about discomfort. Even though I prepared for preparation, which is next week, we're going to talk about discomfort because, as I said, discomfort for the past, we hear, all right, Miss Erica, because discomfort has been whispering in my ear for the past couple of days. And I've been trying to act like I don't hear it. I've been trying to act like it's not there. I've been trying to act like all is well. And it is showing up in my behavior. So I'm going to share some of the things that I've been doing so that I know I am not comfortable. um, Baking. I am not a baker. I don't like it. I like to cook because when you're cooking, you get to put your spin on things. When you're baking, it needs to be precise. If you don't add the right amount of yeast or baking powder or all of those other different things, your stuff is not going to be right. And so I don't really like the restrictions that come with baking. However, I've had a sweet tooth. I've had an enormous sweet tooth. I have purposely not been buying sweets. And so in my mind, I was like, well, you have all of the ingredients to make stuff. And even if you don't, we can figure it out. And so I baked a pie. I made funnel cake. What else did I make? I baked bread. I've been baking. Hey, I've been baking. Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness! I'm so happy to see your pretty face. Hey, I've been baking and doing all of these things and recognizing, girl, you there's some discomfort going on in here. Something is amiss because you are behaving in ways that you typically do not behave. And so we're going to talk about that because before anything is born, before anything is created, there is a point of discomfort. Now, for those of you who have physically given birth to another human being, you might have been experiencing discomfort your entire pregnancy. Or maybe as the baby got bigger and bigger and bigger, that's when things really got, uncomfortable for you. I will be, as I said before, willing to admit with my last child, I said, it's time for her to go because I can't breathe. It's hot. I can't move. And so everything before there is that point of birth, particularly labor is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. So we all have and have experienced some discomfort, whether you have given born to an idea, whether you have given born to a project that you were working on. There was a point where there was some uncomfortable feelings, and it may have caused you to want to give up, want to quit, want to say, I don't want to do this. Maybe you've lost passion for it. Last week, I believe we were talking about, when we have all of these different projects that we start and then we lose passion for them, then we move on to the next thing, and then you have a whole bunch of things that just never get finished. Sometimes the discomfort can disrupt your progress and your process. So I want to talk about how we invite discomfort in and make amends with it, how you can cooperate with the discomfort that is already going to be present. You know there are going to be some contractions. You know that there's going to be a pain. You know that there's going to be some questions and some answers that you have to decide upon that are different than your normal day to day questions. And it may provide you with discomfort. How do you work in cooperation with it? How do you surrender to it? How do you say, all right, if you're going to be present, then let me learn what I need to learn. And so I want to read from my New Thought dictionary, my little tiny New Thought dictionary. I don't have my glasses, so don't be laughing at me as I'm squinting to read. So there is no entry or description for discomfort, but there is one for comforter. So I want to read that. Comfort is described as the necessity of every human awakening within themselves to themselves. The only final savior of comfort is the truth. So essentially, when there is discomfort, there is an error. Something is not as we intended it to be, something is amiss, something is out of whack, and we are feeling the effects of it. And so the truth is really what comfort is. When you feel comfortable, as I hope you feel comfortable right now, wherever you are, things are true for you. You feel good. You may not necessarily be happy, but at least you don't feel like something is impacting you. You feel open. You feel like you are readily available to deal with whatever is going to come your way. When you are experiencing discomfort, you don't want to be bothered. You don't want to think about anything. You don't want to, try anything new. You really are in a state of error. Things are out of balance when we are uncomfortable. And so if comfort is the truth, then discomfort means that there is an error. There's an illusion. There's something that's not true. And I want to read the definition of truth. In the universal sense, the truth means God, spirit, reality. In a lesser sense, the word truth designates anything that is true: a psychological truth, a spiritual truth, a physical truth. And there are several other definitions in this book, Metaphysical New Age, New Thought Dictionary, about what truth is. And so essentially, what we could be saying is that I want to experience the truth of all that is. I want to experience God. I want to experience spirit. So when you are in those moments of discomfort, it really is a request that says, I want to experience God. How can God show up in this moment? And so that is how we can work in cooperation with discomfort, because it is a request. It's a smart request if we look at it that way, that says, I want truth in my life. I want to align with spirit. And so, one of the other things that you need to be mindful of is this an external discomfort or an internal discomfort? So, let's talk a little bit about the external discomforts. Maybe, and I know that there are people here who will say, yeah, that's where the discomfort is coming from. Maybe it's the environment that you're in. You hate your job. There are a lot of us that hate our job. There are a lot of us who are living in situations that it's uncomfortable. You know, we've gone through the pandemic. It caused us to do some things that we normally would not have to do. Some of us are still experiencing the effects of that. Maybe you're living in a place that you don't want to live. Maybe you are separated from people in a way that you don't want to be separated. And so that is causing some discomfort because things are not true for you. The truth of how you want to experience life is not occurring at the present time. And it could be an external condition. Now, the good thing about that is you may have more, chance at adjusting. So if you have a job that you can't stand, you could put a plan in place to either leave that job or leave or change the way you feel about the environment that you're in. There are things that we can do when we can manipulate the environments that we're in, when we have the ability. We don't all have the ability to do so. And I want to acknowledge and recognize that I don't know very many people who are in a job that they can't stand and just say, you know what, I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to leave. I'm going to walk out. I'm going to abandon, all of the time that I've put in, the salary that I've earned, I'm just going to walk away. Not many of us are in that position. If you are, then kudos to you. And I can say that there have been times in my life where I literally have walked off a job and said, I can't do this anymore. I've got to save myself. And yes, there were consequences to those choices. But when you are in a state of discomfort where you recognize I can't even breathe, then you need to make some immediate decisions because it will affect everything, not just your mood. It will affect you physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. And so you need to be very clear about the external environments, the external discomfort that you are experiencing. And do you have a plan to transform the way that you are experiencing it? Now, what if it's an internal discomfort? And I will be the first to admit that in my life, I don't have any external discomforts. I really don't. I don't have anyone that I dislike. Now, they might dislike me, but I'm here to let you know that's a one-sided thing. I don't have anyone that's causing me any pain. I don't have anyone that makes me feel less than. I don't have it. I just don't have it in my life. I'm blessed. I don't argue with anyone. I just don't have those kind of people around me. And I've worked very hard to make that possible. I don't have any external discomfort. If there is discomfort in my life, it is I am the ownership. I'm the owner of that. Some of it I'm consciously aware of. Others I may not be. But what I'm in a state of willingness to discover all of those things. When I want to cuss, complain, or cry, I want to discover why. And I can tell you, all roads lead to Yolanda. All roads lead to either my thinking, my feeling, or my behaviors are causing the discomfort. Because all of that stuff that I was doing last week, the baking, eating things that I shouldn't be eating, the consequence of that is I don't feel good in my body. And when I don't feel good in my body, I'm not motivated to do other things. And so I've caused the discomfort because in my discovery of trying to figure out what the need is, instead of doing some healing work, I chose to bake a peach pie, I chose to make some bread, and I chose to make some funnel cake and then eat it. And those are the consequences of not working in cooperation with discomfort. That's what happens when you don't feel good and you do something that makes you feel progressively worse. So, today we're going to meditate on how do we become buddy, buddy, buddy with the experience of discomfort. You got to figure out, is it external? Is it internal? Is it both? Because it could be both. Is it a physical discomfort that may mean that I have to seek professional clinical assistance with? Do I need to go see my doctor? Do I need to go see a therapist? If it's a physical discomfort that I really need immediate intervention and relief from, then that means I might have to move in ways that I'm not used to moving. There are many of us who are just living with physical discomfort and we're not going to see what it's about. Make sure you go for your yearly examination. So don't wait until there is discomfort before you do something about it, is what I'm trying to say. So pay attention. Is there a physical discomfort? Because if there is, I guarantee you there's a mental and emotional component to it. And so is it a mental discomfort? For me, it's mental. It was mental and emotional. I miss my mom. I miss my mom. I really, really, really miss my mom. And so that was causing this emotional and mental discomfort where all I could think about, if she was here, boy, things would be different. But even that statement is far from the truth. I don't know that to be true. I don't know what health condition she would be in if she were alive. I don't know where we would be in terms of our relationship if she were alive. We create these lovely stories in our head that might not be based in truth, but be based in how we feel. I would love for her to be here. I would love for her to be well. I would love for us to be at a place where we could live harmoniously. I would love for all of those things. I don't know if all of those things would be true. And so that could keep me in my discomfort mentally and emotionally if I don't also do some discovery of what is the truth. The truth is, my mother was not well. She is not here. And I pray and I trust that wherever she is no longer suffering. And the truth is, I can miss her and still generate the feelings that I got when she was alive. That's the truth for me. And so, in your discovery of how you work in cooperation with your discomfort, you're going to have to ask yourself some questions where you have to tell the truth. You have to tell the truth. Is it a relationship discomfort? We are all in different types of relationships, romantic relationships, family relationships, friends, coworkers, strangers. We are all in relationship with each other. What is it looking like? How are you relating to other people? Again, the pandemic caused a lot of us, to not develop skills for a while. We weren't seeing each other on a regular basis, and now I feel like because we're back outside, we don't even know how to communicate with one another. We don't know how to be in spaces together just yet. We don't know what is the comfort level. If you see someone still wearing a mask, does it make you uncomfortable? If you see people that don't have on a mask, does that make you uncomfortable? We are still learning how to be comfortable around one another. And so pay attention. So you do this discovery. What is my discomfort? Where is it? Is it a financial discomfort? You know, that will affect your mood. That will affect you mentally, emotionally. It may affect you physically. It may affect your relationships. You have to center the truth in your discovery of where is this discomfort and how do I work in cooperation with it? Because as I love to say, everything that you discover about yourself is good information. It's information that you can use, information that you can grow from, information that you can tell the truth with. Because if we don't do that level of discovery, we could, just stay in the discomfort, create a story around it, and it gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse. And there's never an intervention of discovery. And so part of the request, remember, discomfort is a request. It's an awareness, it's an acknowledgement. Hey, there is something not quite to my liking. There is something amiss. I am requesting that in cooperation with this awareness, we do some discovery. Now, you may not say those exact words to yourself, but if you really want to get a hold of the way you are experiencing yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, you got to ask the truthful questions. Am I uncomfortable? Is it a minor inconvenience? Because sometimes, whew, there's a minor inconvenience that, we all have to live with. We all have to live with traffic. We all have to live with lines. You go somewhere, there's a long line. That's just an inconvenience of life. No one likes it, but it's true, and it's just the way in which things are designed. Now, you could be in the line, you could be in the traffic thinking there's got to be a better way. If they made another lane, we wouldn't have all this traffic. If they made another line, we wouldn't have all of this, the line wouldn't be so long and it would be moving. We all think that we know what's best when we're inconvenienced. And so I'm not talking about those kind of inconveniences. I'm talking about those kind of discomforts that are disrupting the harmony and the balance that you are seeking. And I know that we are all seeking that because we're out here buying all kinds of things to try to support ourselves in feeling well. We all want to feel well. And there's nothing wrong with that. But let's tell the truth. When we're not well, when we are not well, what is the cause? And do I fight against it and potentially make it worse? Do I fight against it and potentially succumb to it and say, oh, well, it's 12 o'clock at night. Let me just bake a pie and maybe everything will be better. Guess what? It did not get better. And so we have to discover, at what point am I going to take this information, this gift that I have been given of discomfort, so that I can learn from it, grow from it. And if it comes back around again, maybe I'm better prepared to meet the request, to meet the request. And so the request that I had wasn't just, I miss my mother. The request really was, I miss somebody taking care of me. I miss the mothering and nurturing energy that my mother provided me. I don't care how old you get, you still need to be nurtured and cared for. And no one has really taught us how to ask for those things. And no one has really told us, well, what do we do when it's not there? How do we still get that need met? And I hope that the answer is not, we're baking pies at 2 o'clock in the morning. I hope the answer is, we tell the truth. We tell the truth and we say, I want to be in cooperation with the truth, that I need comfort, that I need care, that I need nurturing, and that I miss it. But I didn't do that the other night. I said, I got some peaches. I got some pie crust. Let's bake a pie. That's going to make everything all right. It may have provided a temporary solution for a issue that's going to exist my whole life. I'm going to always need comfort. I'm going to always need nurturing. I'm going to always need to be cared for. I can't keep baking pies to satisfy that need. I've got to do some discovery and be in cooperation with the discomfort when it shows up. And I can say, oh, the truth is, I want to be comforted in this moment. And if I've done my work, if I've done my good self-awareness, self-discovery, personal development work, I know that there are sources available to me where I can receive that. I know that I can give it to myself, with self-love. I know that there are honoring things that I can do that provide the nurture that I need. I know that there are people that I can call upon. And I know some good people. I mean, people that I can call at 2 in the morning to say, I'm about to bake an entire peach pie. What can we do to stop this nonsense? And they'll talk me through it. And I know I have been that person for someone else. And that is me working in cooperation with the discomfort that has sprung up. And that's just one example. There are other discomforts that I know that I will experience and that I am experiencing consciously and unconsciously. But my heart is open and willing to do the work so that I'm not causing my own destruction. So I'm not engaging in self betrayal. So I'm not doing those things that are going to cause further harm. And as you are, as we all are, working toward things in our life, whatever the vision, whatever the goal, whatever the thing is that you are working towards, and you get to that point in your process where you are feeling the discomfort, you start telling yourself, this is too hard. I'm too old. Why did I start this? I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore. When all of that stuff starts to come up, you can then say, I need some truth here. I need to align myself with the truth. I want to be in cooperation with whatever this is that is disrupting my flow, disrupting my process, disrupting me from completing. Runners will call it when you hit the wall, when you're running and you're running, like people who do marathons, and even those of us who can, do a 5K, and we think that's nothing compared to, an actual 26 mile marathon. You may hit the wall and feel like that's it. I don't have any more. I got to give up. That is why we do this work on Sunday and hopefully throughout the week, so that we can see, what do I do before the wall presents itself? How do I recognize when the wall is there? How do I know when I'm about to enter into some errors in my thinking, some errors in my feelings, some errors in my behavior? What do I do a preemptive strike? How do I push through the discomfort? Number one, you can't ignore it and think it's just going to go away. You can't just pour it into a wine glass and think that's going to be the answer, because after that bottle of wine is gone, the discomfort comes back, or it's still there. And so there are a lot of things that we do temporarily to address the situation. Why not? Why not pour your time, your focus, and your energy into solutions and plans and skills and tools that are going to help you before you get to that wall, and then when it presents itself, so you can say, oh, I've hit a wall. I am in the land of discomfort. I am not feeling great about myself or anything else that's going on in my life. And I don't want this to be a consistent state of being. So, what can I draw on? What can I pull from? What words, what actions, what things are going to help me now? And that's what we're going to meditate on. And so, wherever you are, if you are watching on the replay or you are watching live, hey, y'all. I only see numbers. I can't see names unless you say hello. Wherever you might be, make sure you're comfortable. As I said, this is a non traditional meditative practice. Sometimes we flow in and out of the meditative state and back into some commentary. If there are things that you want to say or ask, questions, put them in the chat. I'll see them. You never know when the question that you have within you is a question someone else has. So you might be working not just for you, because we're all together. As Erica said, we are here together to support one another in our time of discomfort. If there is a particular discomfort that you are experiencing and that you don't mind sharing, you don't have to give us all the details. Just say, I'm dealing with this, so that we can send you the energy. Let's create some workable solutions in order to support one another. And that starts through community. That starts with, self-sufficiency. If there are things that have worked for you that may work for someone else, then let's share. That's what meditation is. It is clearing out anything that is getting in the way of the workable solutions to the concerns that we have. And the concern right now is discomfort. And I am saying, I'm working hand in hand with my discomfort from now on. I'm not going to have me in the kitchen baking and doing all of this other stuff when there are other things that I could be doing that will align me with the truth that is, so that I can find my center, so that I can find that balance, so that I can say, this is the truth. I need something, and I am going to get my needs met in a healthy way, in a productive way, in a way that pushes me forward, that doesn't put me in a place where I'm likely to spiral. I've spiraled so many times, I'm way past dizzy. I no longer want that to be my experience. I want to be able to get to the other side of that wall without being beaten up, battered, and bruised. Earlier this week, one of my daughters said, I'm ready to tell God that I am no longer a strong soldier. And I said, don't do that. Because the minute you say you're not, you will get the divine opportunity to show you that you are. So I am willing to say, God, show me whatever I need to see, however I need to see it. And I'm trusting that the truth will be revealed in the way that is best for me. I may have said in this platform before, I'm hard headed. I know I am. I know that things sometimes have to get really, really bad for me to be motivated into action. And so I am no longer willing to wait for for the bottom to fall out. The first sign at discomfort, God, show me what I need to see. The first sign of the wall even coming, show me the truth. So I don't get caught up in a shame spiral. So I don't get caught up in a storytelling. So I don't get caught up in any of the stuff that is going to disrupt my process of healing, growing, and seeing myself truthfully. Truthfully. I don't want to talk about myself in unkind ways. I don't need the negativity. I just don't need it. I don't need it. And I don't want it. I want to work in cooperation with all things that come into my consciousness. And if discomfort is coming, then I want to see it. I want to walk with it. I want to hold its hand so that I can give it what it needs, so it can no longer be discomfort. It can turn into something greater. And so wherever you are, let's get comfortable. Let's take some deep breaths. Let's make sure that we are not impacting anybody else's comfort. I know it's Sunday. And so if you're in the room with somebody else and they're watching sports or, doing something else, maybe you watch at a later time, because there may be some things that we say out loud so that we can hear it, so that we know how it feels in our body to say that we are seeking truth from discomfort. It is not necessary for you to let your eyelids fall, but if that feels better for you, best for you, then do so. You don't have to look at me. As long as you can hear me, then that is okay. Let's continue to take some deep breaths, coming into this moment where we are pulling and pouring out anything that could disrupt the healing that we are creating, the workable solutions that we are creating, the gentleness that we are creating in this moment, where we are seeking, creating, and telling the truth. And as you inhale and exhale at a pace that is comfortable for you, and as you are doing the work to empty out, pour out whatever is in your mind or in your mind's eye, as we always do, we want to create a mental safe space for ourselves. So, whatever safety means, whatever protection means for you, create that in your mind right now by breathing and by intending it to be so. And if it makes you feel safe to place your hand at heart's center, at the location of your physical heart, then do so. And maybe you will be able to feel the vibration of your heartbeat, or at least the inhale and the exhale of your breath. Knowing that a breathing is a way for us to connect spiritually. Why wouldn't you want to feel the effects of that vibration? And as you are breathing, do a quick check of the environment that is your body. Your body being a vessel, a vessel of truth, because won't our bodies tell us the truth? And ask your body right now, what truth are you trying to tell me? From the soles of my feet to the top of my head, what truth are you trying to reveal to me in this moment? Is there an awareness in your lower back? Is there an awareness in your shoulders? Maybe you placing your hand at your heart feels foreign to you because you may not have done it in quite some time. Begin to tell the truth. Begin to tell the truth and connect to the truth in your body. And as we are breathing and we are here to talk about discomfort, ask your body, do you feel discomfort anywhere? In your muscles, in your organs, your systems, even in your bones? Communicate with your body in such a way that you are on one accord and you say, I'm here to acknowledge wherever you may be experiencing discomfort, and forgive me if I have been dismissing it all this time. If you know that there has been an awareness in your hip, or maybe you're not breathing in the way that you used to, or maybe you're not bending and stretching, maybe your flexibility is not where you know where it used to be, and maybe you have not paid attention and you've ignored it. Now would be a good time to say, forgive me, body, for not giving you what you need and allowing you to remain in discomfort. Now that I am working in cooperation with discomfort, I'm going to take care of you because you have always taken care of me. And if that awareness also brings some discomfort, if your body does not feel like the home that it used to feel, then tell the truth. Tell the truth to your body. Physically say, you don't feel like home. You don't feel like what I remember. And I have to get to know you in this existence. And the way that you are right now, the way that you are showing up, legs, arms, back, organs, blood, bones, breath. I have to relearn who you are. And forgive me if I've been so hard on you, if I've been trying to bend you like a pretzel back into your original shape and form from 20 years ago. Forgive me if that's been hard for you. Forgive me if I've made you uncomfortable with yourself by telling you you're not strong enough, you're not skinny enough, you're not round enough, you're not tall enough. Whatever that not enoughness may exist in my body in this right now moment, let's forgive ourselves for causing that level of discomfort. Mm. And if I have allowed you, body, to be in environments that do not honor your presence, please forgive me. If I have placed you around people, places, and experiences and interactions that have caused you discomfort, please know that I am doing my best to rectify that I am looking for justice and redemption for you, body, so that mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, you are well. If there are external forces that have been causing this discomfort, let me breathe into that truth that I may have been giving them way too much time, energy, and focus. And that causes discomfort. That causes me not to feel at home in my own body when I am surrounded by individuals who just don't recognize and realize how magnificent I am. And maybe that has caused a mental discomfort where I don't think of myself in a glorious way, in a dynamic way. Maybe my self value has taken a hit from all of the external noise of the environments that I have been in. Because for many of us, we are working underneath systems and programs that are chipping away at our self value. And we may have internalized a lot of that rhetoric and that ideology that says, you're not enough. You got to be better. You got to do better. And as you continue to breathe into that truth, start to tell the real truth. That there are times when I must do what I must do in order to do all of the other things that I'm responsible for. That does not make me a weak person. That does not mean that I make poor choices. It means that I am consistently working at aligning to my truth, and that I am going through processes and all kind of experiences that are supporting me in realizing that truth. And that is why I'm calling for a request to work with the discomfort that I am experiencing so that it can show me the truth. And maybe part of releasing the discomfort is falling into surrender, recognizing the wisdom that is placed within each and every single one of us. Why don't we surrender to that wisdom? If I know that I am experiencing an error in my thinking, let me surrender to the wisdom that I know is already present within me. Because the truth is God, the truth is spirit, the truth is available for all of us. And as we continue to take some deep breaths and think about the discomfort that we are working with instead of working against, instead of ignoring, let us be anchored in the truth that we are not perfect, that we are not perfect, but we are willing. And within that willingness, there has to be a measure of surrender. Surrender to the thoughts that are limiting, surrender those limiting thoughts. Surrender to the behaviors that are limiting, surrender that I will no longer participate in things that limit my potential and limit my ability to seek truth, create truth, and align with truth. And that even when I get to those moments in my life where I feel like I have given all I have to give, that is my point in time to surrender the greatest. Because surrender is not giving up, surrender is giving into the truth that we are protected, we are guided, we have wisdom, we have intelligence. And as you breathe that in, also recognizing that sometimes discomfort is temporary and we love to make a big fuss about it. And so every day that I am in a position of discomfort is one less day that I will have to be in that discomfort. And if I keep that as my mindset, that this Sunday, where I may be finding myself in an uncomfortable position because I know I got to go to work tomorrow, this is my last Sunday that I'm going to feel that way. And when I jump into Monday, and no one loves to jump into Monday, but when I jump into Monday, it's going to be with a different energy and a different perspective. That I am working in cooperation with my discomfort because it's going to show me something that I need to see. And it might be the motivation that I need that pushes me toward the truth so that I don't give up, but that I give in. That perhaps I'm going to be so uncomfortable that I can't do anything else except fight for myself, except motivate myself, inspire myself to keep going inwardly to correct the errors in my mind, in my body, and in my spirit. And those errors don't make me a horrible person, a bad person, or a negative person. Those errors make me human, a human that is seeking truth. Hmm. And so each of us has the ability to save ourselves from our own discomfort. And somewhere along the way, we may have forgotten. Somewhere in your memory, there lives a truth that you have been uncomfortable in the past, and you figured out a way to release yourself from that state of being. You can't forget that. You cannot forget just how magical you are. You cannot forget that you are co creating with the universe, with the creator. And the creator is truth. You can't forget that. And some of us have a long list of things that we can pull from to say, you know what? This level of discomfort that I'm experiencing, I've been here before, or I've even been more uncomfortable. And I pulled myself up out of that. God showed a way. The truth was revealed. And so if it happened before, over and over, why would I think that this time would be different? In one of my conversations this week, we were talking about frustration, disappointment. And I was asked, can you pray about that? And I said, yeah, let me pray about that. And it wasn't the prayer that I thought I was going to pray, and it wasn't the prayer that the other person thought. It was a question. Why do I think that God has abandoned me? That's what came up. Why do I think that the universe is working against me? Why would that be the truth that I'm going to stand on? Why would I stand before the universe, spirit, the God of your understanding, and say, you abandoned me, you forgot about me? Let's correct that error. So, in both of our frustration and feeling like we're being neglected and left behind, we had to ask the question, who's really doing the neglecting and the abandoning in this co creative relationship? Is it me, or is it the creator? I'm not going to be the one to say, God, you forgot about me. And so I have to tell the truth that as I said earlier, I am the internal disruption that causes discomfort when I forget about how blessed I am, when I forget about all of the times that I have been pulled out of discomfort, and all of the times that I'm unaware of. You know, all of the delays that happen in our life that frustrate us, we have no idea how we are being saved from things that could be destroying us. You know, that traffic that we all hate to be in, there could be an accident up there waiting for you, but because you're in traffic, you're not involved in that. The lines that we're standing in, you know, you go to Walmart, there's only two lines open and you're in this long line. That delay could be delaying some unhidden, unknown catastrophe that you now have avoided because you had to be on pause, because you had to wait. Every delay is not a denial. Sometimes it's a saving grace, but we forget. The minute we get out of something, we forget. We forget. But if discomfort can be used as your motivation, that's how you work in cooperation with it and say, all right, things are not truthful around here. It's time for me to start telling the truth. It's time for me to stop reaching for other things to give me what I need and for me to go within and say, baby, body, what do you need? What are you asking for? If the ends are not meeting and there's not a financial need, then say it and tell the truth. I need something else to support me. If the relationship that you are in is not fulfilling, it's not hitting on it, something is just not, then tell the truth. There's a disconnect here that I would like to work on. If the discomfort that you are experiencing is someone else who is doing some stuff that is impacting you greatly, is it time for you to let them go? Is it time for you to step away? I said to someone yesterday, 2023 should really be the year where we let adult people be adults. Instead of running around trying to save everybody else, how about we mind our business and let people figure things out for themselves? How about that? How about we stop disrupting other people's spiritual journeys? Or as the elders used to say, a hard head makes a soft behind. Well, maybe some people need to get lumped on their behind. Stop disrupting other people's learning process. Mothers of adult children, maybe your babies need to fall down so that they can learn how to pick themselves up. And maybe the fact that we keep running to everyone else's rescue is our unconscious behavior that we don't want to deal with our own discomfort. Maybe the reason we want to be saving everybody else is because we don't want to save ourselves. Let's take a breath. That could be the reason why you are out of sorts, because you and everybody else's business is set for your own. I think that's why we love watching, true crime and all of these other dysfunctional things, because somebody else's dysfunction will take your mind off of your own dysfunction for a little bit, right? We want to be detectives and figure out everybody else's story, and we've got stuff left undone in our own. How many of us wanted to find out and figure out who did this, the who done it, who did this? I got to know. I want to know. And yet we've got things left undone in our own life that we need to do some forensic level discovery. Everybody wants to be a forensic investigator, except when it comes to your own stuff. So, Yolanda, how are you going to tell the truth? How are we going to tell the truth? Now, and I know that your energy and my energy works in cooperation with each other. So these things come up because, yeah, mothers or just parents, period, of adult children, let your babies fall. Doesn't mean that you won't be there to give them a band aid when they need it. Get out of their way. Let them figure it out. Trust that you have poured into them greatly, but they've got to discover what discomfort feels like. We've got a generation of people who don't know what it feels to be in discomfort because we've been, handing them stuff the whole time. We've been trying to lessen the fall. And I'm not saying that's not a noble thing. We should. We want the generations that come after us to not have to go through some of the things that we went through. But pay attention to when you are constantly running with a pillow so that your adult babies don't get a scar, don't get, banged up or bruised. Sometimes that's part of people's learning process. We can be there to guide, to facilitate. We don't have to be the engineer and say, you got to do this and then do that and then do this and then do that. We can ask them, well, what do you think you should do next? What would be the most loving thing for you to do right now? See how they respond. Or trust that they will figure it out, because I'm telling you, as they say, the apple does not fall far from the tree. They have picked up, they have absorbed. And even when, you got that one who looks like, did I even raise this child? I'm trying to, what happened here? Even when you have that one that confuses you, where you're like, I'm not quite sure if I brought the right baby home from the hospital, because what is this? You have to trust and tell the truth. And tell the truth. And so, as we are looking at our own discomfort and becoming cooperative agents, pay attention. Is it an external discomfort? Where is it coming from? Is it the job? Is it the man? Is it the kids? Is it all three of them? And I we haven't even touched on the systems that we all live under, the oppressive systems that we live under that are external agents of discomfort, where people are invested in groups of individuals being uncomfortable. If we had 3 hours, we might be able to touch on that. But I don't want to avoid talking and acknowledging there are systems that we are all operating under that cause discomfort. That would absolutely mean it is an external discomfort source. However, those external things can become internal if we start to believe it and align with it. So if you consistently hear, you know, this group of people can't do this, and you start to internalize that and work with that and say, well, that's the truth. It's not the truth. Align with the truth that lives within you so that you can be sure of and aware of where you might be consciously or unconsciously the agent of discomfort. Again, I have to say, I live a blessed life. I don't have external forces of discomfort because if I see them, I'm going to eliminate them pronto. I have worked too hard in my life to put up with anyone causing me discomfort. And there are times when I am a participant in some foolishness. We all like to participate in foolishness, but I'm always aligning with the truth. Is this best for me? Is this good for me? Is this really what I want to do? If it's not, then we got to do something else. I know that my causes of discomfort are internal, the thoughts, the feelings, the behaviors, the things that, just play over and over again. But I am confident that I am consistently working towards discovering what those are. But it's also very new for me to say, discomfort, I want to work with you instead of working against you. Because I realize you are coming here with information. You are coming with a message. You are coming with a truth that I need to see. And I may not see it any other way. I can step on the scale and the scale will tell me the truth and I can ignore it. But when my knees feel like they can't bear any more weight, I can't avoid that truth. When I'm laying on my back, at the hospital, I can't ignore that truth. There are some truths that we are consciously aware of that we try to ignore. How much more discomfort do you want to live with before you are ready to tell the truth? That would be the question. How much more discomfort are you ready to live with before you tell the truth? I don't want to live with any. And if I am, it's going to be for a little while because we're working together. So when it comes up again, I'm not in my kitchen trying to figure out how to make funnel cake when I know I'm not supposed to have it. I'm going to go to those principles, those tools, those skills, my community. My goodness, my community, the supportive work, the conversations, Sundays at 1 o'clock, and all of the other places that I have found. And I see you with the mental pause. Please, you got to tell us what the mental pause is. Oh, next month, on Sundays, we're gonna have guests. We're gonna have conversations because healing should be communal. Now, I love talking and I love coming to you directly on Sundays at 1 o'clock, but we have to have conversations that generate thought and new perspectives so that we are healing and supporting one another. Because those are, as I call them, workable solutions, not just abstract ideas that never come into fruition. Workable solutions. What can I do to support myself or to support other people if I play that role? I can tell them, you feeling uncomfortable? Well, let's look and see what that is. Let's work with it. instead of fighting against it. Because when you're fighting against your discomfort, you're going to start internalizing that. I'm this, I'm that, I'm not this, I'm not that. We don't have time for that in 2023. We want to tell the truth. We want to tell the truth and say, okay, I need something. There is a need here, there is a want, there is a desire. What is it? And let me tell the truth about it. And then let me seek in a healthy and truthful way about receiving, because truth is God, truth is spirit, truth is the universe. And that is the answer that I need and desire. The necessity of every man or every human awakening within yourself is yourself. The only final savior, the only thing that's going to save you or comfort you is the truth. Is the truth. And if that's the only thing, then why are we out here doing all of these other things that are not going to save us, make us feel better? We got to do something different. And if the truth means God, means spirit, means reality, then let's get real. Let's get real and recognize that truth is in here, but we have to create it and cultivate it and know it to be true. So none of us are looking and searching and seeking for solutions that don't work. That don't work. I love you. I love you. I love you for showing up. And as always, I have to offer that if you want to continue these discussions one on one with me, you can go to my website. There is a link that says office hours. That's my calendar. Get on my calendar and let's have a conversation. It's complimentary, 60 minutes. We could talk about discomfort. We don't have to just talk about that. We can talk about the joys of your life. We can talk about what may have been bothering you, whether you said it today or not. It may take some time for it to settle in your being, for you to be like, is that what the heck that was? Is that what the discomfort was? I needed somebody to say, I love you. I needed someone to hold my hand. I needed someone to rub my back. I needed someone to cook for me. I needed someone to recognize me. Was that the root of everything that I've been going through? Well, let me tell the truth about it so I can get my needs met. I also have to offer that the Evolve community, I have a subscription based community where we go into deeper depth of all of the concepts that we're talking about, all of the different things that we've been talking about and what we will be talking about this entire year. It goes on in the Evolve community. It's an online portal, so we don't have to meet face to face. I would love to do that, and we might be doing that as well, but we will meet once a month. As a matter of fact, next Tuesday night, we're having a healing session, and it is only for individuals who are in the Evolve community. It is virtual. It's going to be long because we're going to give every single person the opportunity to work with all of the concepts that we've been talking about: conception, synchronization, discomfort, and next Sunday we talk about preparation. And so that goes on in the Evolve community. That information can be found again at my website. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I don't want anybody to be consistently in discomfort, but I know it is a condition of the human experience, but it doesn't mean that it just has to exist to disrupt your life. It really can be the solution that you are looking for, the answer. For those of you who want to take forensic level examination, go into your discomfort and see what it's saying to you. See what it is offering you. See what it can be giving you. I love you guys. Thank you for showing up on Sundays at 1 o'clock. Again, whether you are watching live or whether you are watching on the replay, I appreciate your participation in this process. None of us heals by ourselves, even though we are the ones that need to identify those places that need healing. To do it in a communal way is one of the most giving things that you can do. And so I appreciate everything you bring to the space. I appreciate your love. Listen, we got to talk, Miss Ma'am. We got to talk, Miss Ma'am. I thank you for your wisdom, your guidance, your love, your support. I thank you for it all. Continue to have a marvelous, wonderful Sunday. Post new moon energy is still real. So if there are still things that you would like to create, now is a good time for you to write them down and get very, very serious about them. I love you guys, and I hope to see you next Sunday. Be blessed for the entire week. And if there's anything that I can do to support you in your healing, get on my calendar and call me, and we'll have a discussion. Love you guys. Bye.